The first thing you notice about genuinely happy people isn't their constant smile or carefree attitude. It's something far less obvious, yet far more powerful. They've stopped comparing themselves to others. You see this in your own life, don't you? That moment when you scroll through Instagram and see someone celebrating a promotion while you're still grinding away at the same desk. Or when a friend buys a house while you're calculating if you can afford to repair your car this month. I used to believe happiness came from achievement. If I could just get the right job, find the right partner, or reach the right fitness goal, then I'd finally feel content. But that's not what the research shows, and it's certainly not what I've observed in truly satisfied people. Happy people don't wait for external circumstances to align perfectly. They've learned to navigate life differently than the rest of us. Robert, a software engineer I interviewed last year, explained it perfectly. For 10 years, I chased the next promotion, the bigger salary, the nicer car. I got all of them, and found myself just as empty, just as anxious, just as unsatisfied. What changed for him wasn't getting more. It was wanting less. Not in a deprived way, but in a deliberate way. This matches what psychologist Martin Seligman discovered in his research on positive psychology. In his book, Authentic Happiness, Seligman argues that lasting happiness comes not from pleasure but from engagement and meaning. The things we chase most aggressively, money, status, material possessions, provide diminishing returns on happiness after our basic needs are met. But what exactly do happy people do differently? After speaking with dozens of self-described happy individuals and reviewing the research, I've identified 5 key differences. They build strong relationships. Harvard's 80-year study on happiness found that close relationships, more than money or fame, keep people happy throughout their lives. These connections protect against life's disappointments and help slow mental and physical decline. Happy people invest in meaningful connections. They call friends regularly. They prioritize family dinners. They join communities based on shared interests. They maintain fewer but deeper relationships rather than collecting hundreds of surface-level acquaintances. They practice gratitude daily. Not in the forced, "I should be grateful for" way, but through genuine appreciation for what exists in their lives. A 2003 study by Emmons and McCullough found that participants who kept weekly gratitude journals reported better physical health, more optimism, and greater progress toward their goals compared to those who recorded hassles or neutral events. This doesn't require elaborate rituals. Sarah, a teacher I interviewed, keeps a small notebook by her bed. Each night, I write down 3 specific moments from the day that brought me joy. Sometimes it's as simple as the perfect cup of coffee or making my son laugh. It shifts my perspective from what's missing to what's present. They pursue flow activities. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi identified flow as a state where you become so engrossed in an activity that time seems to disappear. You're completely present, challenged at just the right level, and intrinsically motivated. Happy people regularly engage in activities that create this state. For some, it's playing music. For others, it's rock climbing, painting, coding, or cooking. The specific activity matters less than finding something that fully absorbs your attention. They maintain perspective during difficulties. When faced with setbacks, happy people don't catastrophize. They practice what psychologists call realistic optimism. They acknowledge problems without magnifying them or assuming permanence. Mark nearly lost his business during the pandemic. "I didn't deny the reality of the situation," he told me. "But I asked myself, will this matter in 5 years? What can I control right now? What opportunity might exist within this challenge?" This perspective allowed him to pivot his business model rather than surrender to despair. They make decisions aligned with their values. Happy people have identified what matters most to them, not what should matter according to society, and make choices accordingly. Sometimes this means saying no to opportunities that others would jump at. Lisa declined a significant promotion because it would have required extensive travel, taking her away from her family and community work. "People thought I was crazy," she said. "But I know my priorities. More money and status wouldn't compensate for what I'd be giving up." These 5 patterns appear consistently across happy lives. They sound simple in theory but require courage and consistency in practice. I've noticed something else, too. Happy people aren't happy all the time. They experience the full range of human emotions: grief, anger, disappointment, fear. But they don't get stuck there. They feel bad feelings without becoming them. This acceptance of emotional reality aligns with Stephen Hayes' acceptance and commitment therapy, which teaches that psychological flexibility, the ability to contact the present moment and change or persist in behavior that serves your values, is key to well-being. There's another crucial distinction. Happy people tend to favor experiences over possessions. Cornell psychology professor Thomas Gilovich studied this phenomenon for over 2 decades. He found that experiences, travel, concerts, classes, provide more lasting happiness than material goods. Why? Because experiences become part of our identity. They connect us with others. They're less prone to negative comparison. And they're less susceptible to adaptation, the human tendency to quickly return to baseline happiness after acquiring something new. Jonathan, a once workaholic lawyer, describes his shift. "I used to decline vacations to earn more. Now I take my kids camping monthly. These trips cost almost nothing but have given us our best memories. The fancy watch I bought myself 3 years ago? I couldn't tell you where it is right now." The happiest people also recognize a fundamental truth about life that many miss. External achievement isn't the same as internal fulfillment. Naval Ravikant puts it bluntly: "The day you realize you were never rewarded for sacrificing your happiness is the day you're free." This doesn't mean abandoning ambition. It means questioning what drives it. Are you pursuing success to impress others or because the pursuit itself brings meaning? Happy people have answered this question honestly. They've also learned to say no without guilt. They understand that time is non-renewable, and that each yes to something is implicitly a no to something else. Brené Brown captures this perfectly in Daring Greatly, when she writes about setting boundaries. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves even when we risk disappointing others. The practices of happy people aren't revolutionary. They're remarkably ordinary. The difference is in the consistency, intentionality, and courage with which they're applied. You don't need to overhaul your life tomorrow. You don't need to abandon your responsibilities or meditate for hours daily. Start where you are. Choose one relationship to deepen this week. Set a 5-minute timer and write down what you're grateful for. Find a flow activity and schedule it. Practice perspective when something goes wrong. Make one decision based purely on your values, not external expectations. As Annie Dillard wrote, "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives." Happy people understand this. They know that happiness isn't a destination but emerges from how you travel. The path to a more satisfied life isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about being intentional with what's already there.